After another wild night of March Madness, we are finally down to the final 8 teams. Thursday was incredible, but little did we know that was just the appetizer for what was in store on Friday night. Starting off, we have the 6-seeded Rebels taking on the 2-seeded Spartans. Ole Miss head coach Chris Beard knocked off Michigan State back in the 2019 Final Four, and he looked to send them packing again. Early on, it seemed as if that'd be the case. Ole Miss jumped out to an early lead thanks to elite three-point shooting by Sean Padula and Matthew Morrell. The Rebels' defense proved to be trouble for the Spartans as they recorded 8 steals in this contest. With the score sitting at 22-19, the Rebels would go on a 7-0 run to put them up by 10 with just under 4 minutes remaining in the first half. State would then finally generate momentum offensively as they responded by scoring 12 points off of 4 3-pointers. Ole Miss would still enter the break up by 2, just 20 minutes away from their first ever Elite Eight. The second half saw the two teams going back and forth, trading bucket after bucket with neither team willing to budge an inch. Ole Miss tried their best to pull away, taking a 48-39 lead with 12 minutes remaining. But as we've seen all season, this State team just wouldn't quit, and they went on a 14-3 run, which saw them take their first lead of the night. The game remained tight down the wire with a 3 made by Padula, then immediately followed by this Jeremy Fears floater. The Spartans continued to abuse the paint, making clutch bucket after bucket with their slashing guard play. Ole Miss had to resort to playing the foul game. Unfortunately for them, State would hit all of their crunch time free throws. Michigan State only led this game for a total of 3 minutes and 49 seconds, but that proved to be enough to send Izzo to his 11th Elite Eight. Two SEC rivals going head-to-head for a chance at the Elite Eight? Sign me up. Kentucky won their previous 2 matchups against Tennessee this season and looked to make it a third. The Wildcats shot a combined 24-48 from 3 in both contests against the Vols, despite them posting one of the nation's best perimeter defenses. They weren't about to let the Wildcats light it up for a third time, though, and their efforts proved it. The Vols dominated from the jump and quickly got off to a double-digit lead. They went into the break up by 15, and the second half was more the same. Kentucky's first 2 possessions after the intermission resulted in a shot clock violation and an air ball from Kobe Bray. The Vols' defense suffocated the Wildcats all night, but their offense showed up too. They finished with 19 points off of 14 offensive rebounds to go along with 51% shooting from the field. Tennessee advances to the Elite Eight for the second year in a row and is just 1 win away from its first ever Final Four. Moving on, we have the 5th-seeded Wolverines taking on the number 1 overall seed Tigers. Michigan's Danny Wolf was a part of the Yale team that upset Auburn a year prior, and he looked to do it again against the SEC champs. The first half started off very sloppy, with both teams committing turnover after turnover. However, we still did see some highlight-worthy plays, including this layup by Denver Jones. The first half was tightly contested, with Auburn heading into the break up by 1, led by Janai Broom's 10 points and 11 boards. Entering the second half, we saw Wolf lead the Wolverines on a run, where they would go to take a 9-point lead with around 12 minutes left. Auburn then flipped a switch, and played like the Tigers team we were accustomed to seeing for most of the year. They went on an 18-2 run with Tashad Pettiford and Denver Jones seemingly getting anything they wanted. In a blink of an eye, the Tigers were up by double digits and held that lead throughout the rest of the game. Auburn makes it back to the Elite Eight, where they will face off against Michigan State. They call it a grand finale for a reason, and this one did not disappoint. The first half of this matchup featured a battle of the guards, with both Houston's Milos Uzan and Purdue's Fletcher Lorer scoring in double figures before the break. The Boilermakers would take a 2-point lead into the half, thanks to a pair of free throws by Braden Smith. Smith finished with 15 assists on the night, including 11 in the second half. Houston would get their offense rolling after the break, including going up by as much as 10 following an Uzan 3. Purdue would fight back though, thanks to a few threes and free throws made by TKR. The Boilermakers found themselves down by 3 with 33 seconds to go. With the ball in Smith's hands, he would find an open Camden Heide, who hit a big-time 3 to tie the game. Houston would have a chance to tie the game with 6 seconds left, but Uzan misses his jumper. The ball is battled around and goes off of Purdue with a little under 3 seconds remaining. Calvin Sampson then draws up one of the best inbounds plays I've ever seen, as Uzan makes this layup to put the Cougars up by 2. Purdue has one last chance to win, but a near half-court prayer by Braden Smith doesn't fall. As a result, Houston will advance to the Elite Eight for the 8th time in program history. With the conclusion of the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight is now officially set. All games include either 1 or 2 seeds, with Texas Tech being the only exception at 3. If these matchups are anything like the previous round, then we are in store for a good one. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thanks for watching as always, and until next time, peace.